Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to take a minute to just demonstrate and show our new podcast setup. This podcast setup was a bit of an investment in our part, but as you can see, I think the quality of the audio speaks for itself.
Definitely.
Now, even in this echoey room, which is the only place we can really tape this podcast, you can see that the quality is not too bad. And it's all due to this gear. As you can see, there's no laptops. We're not using any type of software, just two mics into the recorder itself. We're even using these boxes where the microphones came from, to prop it up. So it's a very, very bare bones setup. Now let's break it down. We are both speaking into an Audio-Technica ATR 2100 microphone. This is what it's called, a dynamic microphone, which basically means that it only picks up sound right in front of it. So if I move over here, the sound doesn't sound as great.
Like a little muffled.
Yeah, and like I said, this echoey room doesn't help. But as long as I'm speaking right into it, I can get really nice and close. And it'll go straight into the recorder. Then I can just get that MP3 file right into my computer, boom, upload it wherever I need to go. Now, when you get this microphone, you're going to get the microphone, the stand, the XLR cable, and the USB cable. And you heard that right. This microphone can be used as a USB mic as well. So if you wanted to just plug this in straight into your laptop or computer, you could do that as well. But I'm going to tell you right now, with our experience with USB mics, you're going to want to switch to XLR. Now, this is going to be a bit of an investment. The Audio-Technica, one mic by itself is going to run you about the $60 to $70 range. So between both our two mics, it's about $140 or so. Now, the next piece of equipment is really what's doing most of the magic, and this is the H6 Zoom field recorder. Now, this is a very fancy field recorder. It's going to come with a bunch of gadgets. It's going to come with a case, but I mean, as far as podcasts go, all you really need to know is that you can plug up to 4 mics and you can raise and lower the volume on each individual mic. So I could do this. I could do it with mine. I'm not going to do it with hers. But you could do that with each individual. I can even mute myself. I can just take myself completely off. Oh, no, I can't. That's a good thing. You don't want to do that. This recorder can be used as an audio interface, which I'm not going to go too much into detail. I really just wanted to demonstrate how good the quality sounds. Like I said, even in this echoey room, I believe that we sound pretty well.
Yeah, and then this device will run you around $330 to $400.
Yeah. Like I said, this setup is going to be a bit of an investment. I'm going to leave all the links in the description to these mics and the recorder itself. I want to give a quick disclaimer. I didn't know this when I got this. It doesn't come with an SD card, but I mean, SD cards are pretty inexpensive, and it does take batteries. But you could just buy yourself some rechargeable ones, which, like as you can see, it's still in the package. I haven't even opened them because the battery is still pretty good. I'm still at full battery, even after a couple of uses. So definitely worth looking into. Now, one of the biggest reasons why we decided to go with this particular setup is because we were tired of noise bleed. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's when somebody's microphone picks your voice up from far away. With these types of microphones, you're not going to get that problem. But with a USB mic, or what they call condenser mics, you guys have heard that before, you get that problem all the time. And actually, let's demonstrate. Oh, welcome to the old setup. Now, as you can hopefully hear, because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't.
Very inconsistent.
My audio should be getting picked up by this mic and just a tad bit over there, so it kind of makes me sound like a robot sometimes. And like I said, sometimes it's very inconsistent. And I think that's one of the frustrating things about using a USB mic is that for someone like us, someone like me or us that doesn't know a lot about sound manipulation and all these different softwares that you can get, we're using OBS, by the way, in case you want to know. This is a screen capturing software, but it does allow you to mess around with, some noise filters and stuff like that, like noise gate and compressing and stuff like that. But see, those are things that I had no idea what they were. And so I think as far as just being able to sit down, start recording, and knowing that it's going to sound great, like 99% of the time.
Without having to do all that
Exactly,
research.
without having to do any setup, without having to have this laptop running, being plugged into its own power supply and everything. I mean, nothing beats that XLR and recorder setup, in my opinion. I know we can both talk about this all day, how many times we've had to re-record or had to share a microphone.
And that's how many times you made us.
How many times I made her re-record a sound, a sound session. I don't know what I'm talking about. A podcast because it didn't sound well. Most of the time we just end up sharing one microphone, and that's really that is one thing that I will give a condenser mics. They're really good at for sharing. If you're going to be standing right next to each other, you could probably just share a microphone. But really, when you get more than two people like across the room or something like that, I don't know. It just, for some reason, problems start to arise. And if, like I said, if you're not willing to put in the time and to figure all this stuff out, it's better just to invest in a better product, which is XLR mic.
Yep.
And in case you forgot what that sounds like compared to this, let's go back to the new setup right now. So coming back, you can see that the audio improves just substantially. There's no audio bleed. Everything sounds pretty clear on my end. And as long as we're talking, and we can talk at a normal voice, we don't have to project, we don't have to talk softly. And I want to reiterate, there is no software, we don't have no laptops. All this audio is going to get put straight into the computer. Well, it's going right into the SD card, right into the computer, ready to be, compressed or whatever you have to do to the audio. There's several things that you could purchase to maybe enhance the, overall quality. You can get a pop filter, obviously location. If you all wanted to wear headphones, you can get something like this, which is pretty inexpensive. It's just a splitter. Everybody can plug into the recorder and everybody can hear each other. Overall, I think this is a very good setup.
Yes. But the only thing, since these mics, you can only hear noise within the head of the microphone. You can't really share mics all that well, so you would need a mic for everybody.
Yes. If it's just two people, or if it's just even yourself and one other person every once in a while, I think this is a pretty good setup. And I think as far as audio quality, if you're going to invest and you want to make sure that you're getting the best quality audio, it would make sense to just get the best equipment up front. Tax season has just come in, so maybe you guys can put that money to use. I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money, but
this is how we spend ours.
That's how we spend ours, exactly. So
not all of it. There's only
we're broke.
There's only ran about a little over 400, maybe.
So that's pretty much it for this kind of weird review. Hopefully we've helped you narrow down your choices as far as what you want to get for starting a podcast. We think this is a very good setup, and if we can help one or two people improve their audio quality, I think we did a good job. And of course, be sure to check us out on the Reject Bean podcast on the Reject Bean Soup channel and on Podbean as well. So thank you much for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.